So, Nestor, I think we should probably not profit off of this dude's death. So, I kind of maybe want to do no ads on this. YouTube will probably put an ad on this, but you guys have heard about this whole Charlie Kirk situation, and I want to bring it in. Forget the macro scale. I want to kind of pink. We're not going to get weird here out of our skulls. I want to break it down to the smallest form possible, which I think is something that's been going on a long time. Now, I just want to paint you this picture, okay? Everybody and their mother's uncle is talking about this. Everyone. Trump, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, he's talking about it, okay? Everybody, all of them. And a big thing going on is people are happy about it. Obviously, I'm not happy about it. I don't think most people are happy about it, but there's a good amount of people that are happy about it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd. But that's basic human nature. Nestor, are you happy about it?
No.
Okay. But here's what I want to say. You do not become this famous by accident. Okay? What do I mean by that? Right here. Before we dive deep, and I hope this makes sense. You don't get this popular by accident. And another thing to think about is, have you ever bought weed, right? Or drugs or something from a drug dealer? Not a store, a drug dealer. You know, I used to deal with this one guy back when I used to smoke weed. I didn't trust him at all. But I still bought weed from him. And I think that's the mainstream media, is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, I think that's the mainstream media and why Charlie was so popular, aside from just kind of speaking what most people would say is common sense, which is dangerous. It's dangerous. But let me break it down small. Okay? When you look at this chick, guys, right here, when you look at her, what's your first thought? Nestor, what's your first thought on this chick?
Die-hard liberal.
Okay. Now, would you guys guess that she is happy that Charlie got shot? Most of you are probably yeah, right? Well, she's not. She thinks it's just as disgusting as everybody else does, okay? My point about this is, this guy is also disgusted by it. Black guy. My point is, on a small scale, fame aside, we can judge each other. And I think this has always been the biggest problem. I'm trying to tread very lightly here, okay? I don't want to get down the rabbit hole of freedom of speech and the Jews, right? I don't want to go that far with it. I just want to keep it base level and something that we could really, really take in. Let's go back to the rainbow-haired chick, right? Okay. So when I put something up, this is the biggest problem, in my opinion. We look before we listen. So we live in a world now where even me, I put up a video or I walk in public. But let's stick to a video like this. I put up a video. Someone like her or someone like you can look at it, not even listen to me. They've never listened to me at all. But they see this, maybe there's a title right here, and they already have a preconceived notion of what I am. Immediately. Okay? This Charlie Kirk situation, let's not forget this guy. They tried to off this dude too. Okay? And I don't trust any of the politicians. I don't care who they are. That's just me, right? Okay? Violence isn't the answer. Well, in this case, I guess it was the answer. They wanted to shut you the fuck up. Right? But let's say we took that to a small scale, guys. What if in real life you think people would be behaving the way they were if there were no rules and you could just get knocked the fuck out? If you want to take it all the way there, right? You want to take it all the way down to brass tacks. I don't think people would be moving like this if there really wasn't any rules and ramifications, right? Like, I don't think people would be talking to each other this way. Like, the amount of videos I've watched, and it's not that many, but enough to where people are like, he's a racist, he's a homophobic, he's a this, he's a that, he's black. You get my point? Like, Nestor, I hope I'm not sounding fucked up here, but like, people have a preconceived notion of others.
Yeah.
And have no mistake, this guy, this gentleman, where the fuck did he go? Have no mistake. Do not be mistaken. This level of fame is not by accident. We're not talking about fame, though. All right? And maybe there's something to do with trying to have maybe all this is like, I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist here. How do I say this lightly? It's like free speech is okay if you agree with it, but it's beyond opinion.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's beyond opinion. I can click on any of these people here, and before they say anything out of their mouth, you're already making an assumption of them, including me. Every single fucking person in here, all of them. This guy, before he even talks, you've got a preconceived notion of who they are, what they stand for. And I think the best representation of this, besides the black person, and I'm not trying to sound fucked up here, okay? I think this is the best example of what I'm trying to get at. And I think that is the number one issue. I think it's way deeper than gun control and free speech and all of that. I don't know what I'm trying to say. We were talking about this, like conditioning, right?
Yeah.
Red versus blue. But that's in everything. It's politics. It's gangs. It's Crips and Bloods. It's fucking the police lights. It's almost like a conditioning to have this opposing thing. Maybe if we were all blind, the world would be a better place, right? Maybe if all we could do was listen and not look, maybe that would be a better solution. Or maybe if we couldn't talk, I guess there'd be nothing to be said. What can you really argue about at that point? I don't know. I just kind of wanted to touch base on it because if I were to sit here and you know, people are happy he's dead, but then the other people are like, you're disgusting. You guys are evil, right? And I think that's kind of the whole point of what I'm trying to say is there's really no amount of it's actually increasing a divide. I think it's increasing the divide off the back of this gentleman, who, do not be mistaken, once again, you don't get this famous without asking for it. That's the truth. That's the truth. I could have signed a long time ago, guys, twice. But I don't want this level of fame. And I do speak a lot of common sense. I like to have fun. And a big reason why I joke around so much is it's easier for people if they just think you're making a funny and you don't really know what you're talking about. And a lot of people laugh at my jokes because a lot of it's true. If I say it in a funny fashion, kind of play it off a little bit. But I think the main issue here is literally, it's as simple as it's way past the point of black and white and rainbow hair and it's past that. It's the amount of judgment that goes on nowadays without breaking it down to a small scale. is kind of, I think, what's got us here. I think it's just been a long time coming. I don't think this is anything new. I think it's just amplified on a mass scale. And it is odd that people are like, good riddance, thank God. You hear people go, they're doing the Lord's work by taking him out. Yeah, do I think that's a bit fucking insane? Of course. Absolutely. But you got to think about, like, how did we even end up in that spot? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you even end up right there? I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just saying I think this is a lot bigger than we think. And I think a lot of people are kind of, it's back to the me versus you, red versus blue. I mean, I'm not saying me versus you like that. I'm just making a point here. I think it's kind of, I don't think we're learning any lessons here, guys. I don't think, and there's nothing I could do about it, right? I'm not here to sway you in any direction. I'm just here to say, hey, no one's looking at it from a micro scale. No one's looking at it from an individual, non-fame, non-anything like that. Not one fucking person in this whole chapter here, along with the thousands of other videos, not one video that I watched so far broke it down to that being that small.
And you can tell by history too. Political violence has been happening since, forever. So
it's always been a thing.
Yeah.
This has always been a thing. The whole it's bigger than I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's much bigger than that. I don't know what the answer is, but I really do think there's something to be said. I'm going to end on this note one last time. I'm not going to even let her talk, but you make up your mind immediately right there. Right there, you make up your mind. I'm guilty of this too, guys. I'm actually really good at listening before I look. I'm really good at that. Okay. I'm excellent at that. Because of how many times I've been wrong. But I think that's a big part is willing to be like, how do you say it? Like, this dude was very opinionated, right? Strong opinionated. Okay. Not everybody could just be, but he's also an entertainer, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of what I'm getting at. This is still mainstream media, all right? This is really no different than the Trump situation. I'm not saying they're on the same scale. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they knew each other. All right? But it trickles down to regular people. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So, I don't know what to fucking say. I think it's at a stage where we're all just, it's too judgmental. And I don't want to say I am not. But I'm nowhere near as bad as anybody that I've watched on here. I just kind of wanted to bring that down. Because I'm not naive enough to think I know. I know better. There's one thing I do know. You do not get that famous without, on accident.
Yeah.
It's impossible. That's not real. So, something to think about. Rest in peace to that dude. If you didn't see the video of him getting, I wouldn't even watch it. It's just kind of like, you know what? I want to end on this, as if there isn't enough fucking problems financially, and just trying to live a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's almost too much sometimes. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Could you agree on that?
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Absolutely.
The world's hard enough. Let's make it harder on ourselves. Yeah. And I can honestly, proudly say, I'm not a part of the problem. I'm the guy on the outside going, man, why can't we just get along? Like, life's not that serious.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that serious. And it gets blown out of proportion on the internet. It really does. When I'm at the coffee shop and people look like this woman, right? Never an issue. Just a regular person. This guy, never an issue. Regular person. Never. There's never a problem. Ever. That's something to think about, though. Most of this stuff we are fed by the same drug dealer that you still want to buy drugs from, is what I'm saying. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that analogy. I'm going to leave it at that. All right. You good?
Yeah, rest in peace to Charlie.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. We probably shouldn't even post this. Unreal.